What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 3-Star Draw. I am Down South 77, and this here is a channel where we're about to do a top 5 list today. That is right. I'm going to do a top 5 favorite figure list this year, and that's everything. That's not just Joe's. These are my favorite figures that I picked up this year for whatever reason. I didn't do that last year. I just did a top 10 classified last year, but last year I hadn't really broadened out and picked up as much stuff from other lines, and I've gotten a lot of really good things this year that aren't classified, and some of them are really good, and I have really enjoyed a lot of these figures. So I thought this time I would do a top 5 on everything. Now this is all stuff that I have picked up this year, and these are my top 5 favorite figures of 2024. And this has got a little bit different criteria than the way I did my classified list. There could be crappy figures on this list as long as I enjoyed it for whatever reason, and something maybe I've really been looking forward to, always wanted it, maybe got it finally. Along those lines, it's basically what did I have the most fun with this year. Basically stuff that I opened and it's set up here on my table because I kept playing around with it so much. Even when I was doing other videos, I'd just kind of move it over, or sometimes it would even be in the background. Stuff that I really had fun with and have been super excited to get in the collection, done pictures with it, whatever. So that's how I'm doing this list. Again, this is mine. You can agree with it, not agree with it. Hey, you do your list. This is mine. You do you, buddy. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. I am going to show you 2, as usual, that were kind of runners up. But honestly, there's only a couple in this list that hold real positions. They're all kind of interchangeable, honestly, except for number 1. Number 1 definitely earned the spot, I think. So come along and find out what my favorite figures were. All right, let's start off with one that I have literally been waiting decades for. This is one I got early in 2024 that was not G.I. Joe. This is the NECA Ultimate Alex J. Murphy figure from RoboCop. I've been wanting this figure ever since my mom took me to see RoboCop in the theater in 1987. It is one of my all-time favorite movies, hands down one of the best action movies. I love it, know it back to front. And we've never seen anything like this before from that property. This is Alex Murphy. He is before and during and after he gets blown to pieces by Clarence Boddicker and his gang. I do have Murphy configured now, pre-transformation, let's call it, just because I like the look of him with the ride helmet on, twirling the pistol from the TJ Laser show that he tries to live up to for his son. But he comes with so many accessories. There's a couple different looks for this figure that you can do. Helmet visor goes up and down. You got a helmetless head, and then you have a head pre-getting massacred or, or during getting massacred. So a lot of different looks that you can do with this figure to turn it into various scenes from that movie. And of course it is NECA, so it looks fantastic, which however is also the only drawback for the figure for me, is it is rather fragile because it is a NECA. I wish I could get something like this, like a classified figure that I could really play with and do some abuse with and would hold up. But you know, we can't do that with NECAs. You can heat them up and repose them every once in a while, but you don't want to push your luck. But I love this figure, man. This figure was worth the wait and worth every penny. So that is why Alex Murphy makes my list. Now this one probably won't be much of a surprise, especially if you follow my Instagram with some of the pictures that I put up. This is the Mezco 112 Theodore Sodcutter Gangrene Estates Ghostly Ghoul Edition. Man, that is a whole lot to say and not mess it up. but this guy had to go on my list. One of my favorite figures in my entire collection. Comes with a ton of accessories. He's just this big, creepy, ghoulish mortician. I love taking pictures of this guy. Very, very posable. You do have to be careful. He's got them real long, thin arms. They've got some weird articulation in them. So you kind of got to be careful. You cannot get in a big hurry when you pose this guy and move him around. I'm keeping a close eye on him because every time that thing spins and the weight shifts, he rocks back and forth. Oh man, you gotta love these Lazy Susans. But this guy had to be on my list. I've had so much fun with him. He's never really gone on a shelf or not really gone very far. You guys ever notice he usually sits right over here in the corner beside my Ramen Racer and pointing at the camera, casting a suspicious eye, keeping an eye on all you guys. So he is 100% going to make my list. I knew that as soon as I got him. Comes with so many accessories. I can't even fit all of the stuff that he comes with up on the Lazy Susan. I just pulled out the head sculpts and the other hats. There's still a tombstone. There's still a bag of hands, a bag of weapons, a scarf. This guy is pricey, but I think he's worth it. For me, much fun as I've had with him. So I recommend picking this guy up if you like creepy figures. He'll fit right in with figure obscuras and things like that. He is pretty tall. He's much taller than your average figure, but he's also supposed to be. So that is why Theodore Sodcutter is on my list this year. Alright, so number 3 is another one I can't seem to find a permanent place on the shelf for because I keep playing with this figure. He is usually behind the wheel of my Ramen Racer because it looks so good. But this is the Hasbro Punisher from the War Journal 2-pack with Bushwhacker. Journal, I said that weird, but I'm not going to cut it. War Journal 2-pack with Bushwhacker. I could not believe how awesome this figure was. So I'm not a huge Marvel Legends collector. I don't, just not really my bag, but of course Marvel was always my book. It was always my brand of choice. So there are some characters that when they come along, I do want to pick up versions of them. And I've been waiting for a newer Punisher figure, and I was blown away when they released this 2-pack. I had to go back and actually remind myself who Bushwhacker was because it's been a long time since I read those, but I do remember who he is now. But I didn't buy that 2-pack for Bushwhacker, and I don't think most people did either. I bought it for this Punisher, and it does not disappoint. Is this the version of Punisher I would rather have seen? No, I wish he had the white gloves and the white boots. The classic original Punisher skull on the chest. But I'm not going to complain, man. This figure, it looks so good. I mean, it nails the look. Just perfect. This figure is a perfect version of Punisher in this costume. I didn't think I was going to like the headband really with this figure, but it works. I mean, it is torn straight out of that comic. So it does work for me. I really do like it. Moves well, it poses well, no loose joints, no problems whatsoever with this figure. I've had him chasing Cobra Commander. I've had him teaming up with Declan Van Helsing. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this Punisher. If you do not have this set and you are a Punisher fan, I recommend picking it up solely for this figure alone. It does come with a nice Uzi, comes with a Tech-9, got a grenade, got this little explosive bit that actually is a really cool looking blast effect, has shrapnel coming out of it, so I'm assuming that is from the grenade exploding once he tosses it. Either way, man, get this Punisher figure if you don't have it. It had to make my list. I knew it would be on there as soon as I opened it, so that's why he is there. Cannot stop playing with this figure. Well, I am a G.I. Joe classified collector first and foremost. Of course, something was going to turn up on the list, and of course, it is this guy. Once a Man Cobra Commander. If you watch my top 10 list for 2024 for classifieds, you know this guy is on it. but you also know he did not make number one, but that list has a different criteria. This is a list of things that I just thought were the most fun or glad that they finally made. And how could you not put this figure on a list with those two criteria? They absolutely killed this figure. They even gave us the little snake that he turns into when he's completely transformed. I've had so much fun with this figure, posing it around, doing different things with it this year. I'm so glad that they made this. I'm not even going to talk about the nightmare it was to get this figure. I think there's people that still haven't managed to get this guy that want him. But once you do, he is so much fun. Even if you're not a Cobra Law fan, if you're a Cobra Commander fan, whatever, or you just want a fun figure. I know people that don't buy classified that have picked this guy up just for the little snake and the head. So worth it by all means. Definitely check out Once a Man Cobra Commander, and that's why he is on this list. Well, if it is my list, you know I'm going to have a couple of runners up, and these guys really aren't runners up. They are favorite figures. I just had a really hard time getting this list down to 5, so I did these two. So coming around right now is Wild Bill, obviously from the HasLab Dragonfly set. There's so much to say about this figure, but I'll keep it brief. Wild Bill is one of my favorite Joe characters. I could not wait to get him in classified form, and I was more excited for him than I was the actual Dragonfly. They did a fantastic job with translating this guy. I'm really happy with the way he came out. Mine does have a little bit of loose legs, and the sunglasses can be a little bit problematic, but they do fit a lot better than most Joe figures that have glasses do. I'm just really impressed with this guy, and I'm happy to have him in my collection finally. So now coming around is the Operation Monster Force Sleepwalker Heavy Weapons Division figure. These Monster Force figures really did deliver once we were finally able to get them in hand. I love this guy. The Sleepwalker guys are pretty much all the same, other than he comes with this weapon and their colors. So of course I had to go with this guy because of the green accents. I absolutely love the steampunk sci-fi weapon. These will be figures that I'll be picking up here and there. I'm going to have to cherry pick Monster Force for a while, but that is why I picked this guy for one of my first figures. I just love the aesthetic of him, and Monster Force is going to be a contender provided they can actually get the figures to us. So I really do dig these two, and that's why they are runners up for my 2024 favorite figure list. There are a lot of things that probably would have made this list this year if I had picked them up. There's a lot of lines I just don't collect, I'm not into, or just haven't had the opportunity to purchase yet. You know, things that I like, but just haven't found them yet, or price wasn't right, whatever. So this is all stuff obviously that I did pick up that I enjoy. It's not slighting any other line. The first one that comes to mind are the Jada Street Fighters. I don't have any of those figures. I wasn't a huge Street Fighter fan, but I do want to pick up one or two of the figures because everybody tells me how awesome they are. So maybe if I had one or two of those, it would have been on the list. That's just an example of stuff that wasn't included because I don't have it. So this is all stuff that I've got in my hands. So let's see who made number one. Number one most favorite figure that I picked up in 2024, both for being the absolute most fun and probably best figure overall, is the Four Horsemen Mythic Legions Skeleton Legion Builder 2. Now, I do enjoy Four Horsemen product. I mentioned that many times. I do pick up the skeletons. I love the Mythic Legion skeletons, and when I saw this guy was coming out, and then when I found out what it meant for him to be the 2.0 skeleton, I knew I needed to order this guy, and they disappeared like that. I was lucky I was there the morning that they went up for pre-order. I did order 2 of them. I wish I'd have ordered more, but this figure is absolutely fantastic. Now, he does not come with a M249 squad automatic weapon, obviously. That is provided by Top Fun Retro Toys 3D. I put that up there with him, one, because I have him sitting on the hood of the Ramen Racer holding it, but two, just to show that you can do just about anything with this figure. You can mix it in with just about any toy line if you do that. Pictures, background skeletons, and you can pose this figure in just about every way imaginable. The articulation for this figure, it just blows everything out of the water that is anything near it as far as a skeleton. For just a bare bones, minimal paint, just easy peasy skeleton, it is one of the most expressive and enjoyable figures. Has the articulated jaw and really articulated neck. You can do just about any pose that you can imagine with this figure. It can do it. Two-handed sword, and he comes with pointy fingers for each hand. Skeletal, bony, pointy fingers. What you see on the Lazy Susan is what he comes with, and that's all you need with this guy. It is so much fun. So that is why I picked him for my favorite figure. This guy was my favorite figure for 2024 a long time ago. It was going to take something pretty massive to knock this guy off, and nothing come along that was able to best him. So I do recommend picking this guy up, or when some of the other versions of the 2.0 skeleton body get released, there are plenty coming out. Definitely at least pick up something so you can see the posability. But this guy has no armor or anything, as you can see, to hinder it. That is why it is so superposable. But you can put this guy in with anything. Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, put him in with He-Man, whatever you want. This guy's going to fit in as just so easy to play with other lines and do figure photography with. So there you have it, you guys. There are my top favorite action figures from 2024. I can't wait to do this again in 2025. So I want to take a minute to thank everybody that subscribes to the channel, watches the videos, shows up for the live stream and the chats, leaves comments, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. Really does help out the channel, and I hope to be doing some more of that stuff for you guys in 2025. Once again, thank you all, and we'll see you next time on 3 Star Draw.